What up? What up? What up? What up? What up, y'all? What's going down? I want to hop on while my boy is sleeping so I can talk to y'all a little unfiltered a little bit. and get into the discussion, man. Sauce Walka, Houston, Texas artist, was just on the Breakfast Club yesterday. Charlamagne the God brought up Sauce Walker's problems with Drake and where they stem from. And he spoke about Drake's cultural appropriation of the Houston music scene and the Houston sound. And I wanted to discuss does Sauce Walker have a point, basically, right? First, I'm gonna ask y'all: does Sauce Walker have a point about Drake appropriating Houston, Texas culture? Y'all leave y'all response in the conversation below. Does he have a point? Does Sauce Walker have a point? Um, for me, I'm gonna wait till y'all come in here too before I start talking. I'm gonna wait till y'all come up in here. Man, I got something on my hat. Wait till y'all come on up in here real quick. Wait till y'all come in so we can chop it up a little bit. Let's see. I'm gonna wait till it build up just a little bit. What's going on, y'all? What's the word? Talk to me, y'all. What's going on? Mm-mm. What's going on? Hello, Sniper Dragon, IDK. What's going on, y'all? It look sad. Nah, man. But anyway, okay, so I got a few of y'all on now. So, for those who don't know, Sauce Walker was just on the Breakfast Club yesterday, and he was speaking about. Well, Charlamagne asked him about his previous problems with Drake, right, and where they stem from, etc. Sauce Walker basically was saying what he had been saying for years. He felt like Drake used Houston culture to help boost his career in certain spots, but he didn't really get back to the Houston rap scene. He didn't collaborate with Houston rappers like that. He didn't show them love like that, you know what I mean, in the ways that he felt like he should have. He should have been. He felt like Drake could have done more for the Houston rap scene, economically, etc. What he means by that, I believe, is collaborating with Houston artists, putting them on tour with him, put him on stages with him, and all of that. What's going on, Indonesia? What's up? What's up? And so I believe he felt like Drake could have done that for the artists. What do I think about it? I actually understand the point that Sauce Walker was making. I really do. If you look at Drake's early sound, how he was sounding, early years, especially, he was with Rap a Lot and them a lot, with Jay Prince. Drake, a lot of people feel like Drake was using Kurt Cobain style. I don't know if y'all remember Kurt Cobain had the song "Drink in My Cup," was a dope artist. I remember he had a mixtape called The Progression 2 with Texas Young Player. Um, he had that mixtape, like that mixtape dropped when I was my freshman year of college in my second semester. And a lot of people felt like Drake kind of took his style a little bit. A lot of people he said, yes, he has a point. Drake used a lot of samples from classic Houston songs like June 27th, Swangin' and Bangin', and use old Swisher House beats. And so people like, yo, you feel like he kind of ran off with Kurt Cobain style a little bit. You feel like, well, not we feel like. They know he uses samples from old Swisher House beats. You know, why hasn't he performed or collaborated with a Kurt Cobain's, a Big Pokey, a Lil Kiki, Paul Wall, Slim Thug, Mike Jones, Max O'Cream, Chameleonaire, even though I know Chameleonaire is more in the tech space now. Why didn't he collaborate with these artists? And some of y'all gonna say, well, they are older artists, you know what I mean? Why should he collaborate with them? Well, the same reason he collaborated with Project Pat. Project Pata. He did it with, in Memphis. He collaborated with Pat. He has Memphis ties from his father. So why wouldn't he do that? And I feel him on that, man. I know some of y'all gonna bring up he collaborated with Bun B. He collaborated with Beyonce. But I mean, yeah, or some people would say Travis Scott too. They feel like, yo, he could have collaborated with some more people who wasn't up at the time, like who wasn't already of higher stature or wasn't up at the time. So I get that. I get that. And some would also say, Sarah D'Souza, hi, what's going on? Hi, please. So yeah, then I think Charlemagne brought up a great point. Well, why can't we hold Travis Scott to the same standard? Hi, what's going on? Why can't we hold Travis Scott to the same standard? And Sauce Walka said, well, look, I hold him to the same standard as well. He feels like Travis has signed artists from Houston. Travis Scott has put a Houston artist on the bill for his concerts and shows. He's made music with artists from Houston and supports them, come to the music videos and show them love and support at the videos, etc. Megan Thee Stallion, some gonna say, well, shouldn't Megan do that? But Megan Thee Stallion has songs with Max O'Cream, Lil Kiki, Big Pokey before his death, and all of that too. So yeah, I kind of feel the point he's making. And then even when I hear about, certain songs like Connect that Drake has, I'll be here just swinging. Don't talk to me like I'm famous. Swinging. That's Houston, Texas terminology. Swinging, like, you use some of the lingo in your songs, like running through the six with my woes. Well, that's not Texas. I'm sorry. That's not Texas. Woes is New Orleans. You know what I mean? And that's state lingo. That's short for Wody. But yeah, people be like, a lot of people feel like he could have poured more into the Houston, Texas rap scene more when he was using their samples from classic records, etc. Why not collaborate with a lot of the young artists in the city? Why not show them love? Even again, work with the OGs. I'm sure Lil Flip would love to do collaborations with Drake. I'm sure Lil Kiki, Slim Thug would love to collaborate with him. So yeah, I didn't feel like it was anything wrong with what he was saying. Now some of y'all came and said, well, Mac, you can't have it two ways. Y'all say that he runs to Atlanta to get help with art, to get help with his music, but then you also want him to collaborate with the Texas artists, right? And so I feel like that's okay. Let's discuss that part of it. People, now again, I never had a problem with him connecting or working with Houston artists. My problem with Drake is, and I'm a Drake fan saying this, I'm not a Drake hater. I'm not pouring on Drake because it's popular because it's popular to trash him. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. I'm a Drake fan, but I always had this critique. Drake likes to stand next to them street rappers in Atlanta for edginess in his music, for a street appeal around him that he know he can't authentically produce himself. You know what I mean? He likes to stand next to them for the, the street, the edginess in his music and all of that. But at the same time, you don't speak about the plight of the same people that come from the communities that you rapping with, right? Talk about the issues that's affecting people from 21 Savage's neighborhood. I'm not saying specifically, right? Drake has never really showed a solidarity with black folks, for real. and speaking about black issues and things affecting our people. He's never spoke on those things at all. I'm not saying he got to put it in his music. I'm not saying he got to do a press conference. He can hire a publicist to say certain things the correct way. Even after, like I said, when the world, everybody who saw George Floyd, what happened to George Floyd, that was his layup. That was a free pass for him to say something about, the plight of black American people. And he still chose not to, right? My thing is, if you're gonna, don't only stand in solidarity with black folks when it's time to make music. Stand in solidarity with black folks all the way around, especially if you're using street black rappers for appeal in your music. You know what I mean? And that was my issue with Drake. That was my issue with him. It was never, oh, I hate Drake, I don't like him. It was never none of that, because I'll listen to the music, and I still will listen to the music. But yeah, people gonna call you out. And then some other people said, well, if y'all want Drake to speak up for black issues, y'all don't even look at him as black. And I say, well, that's false. Black people are really inclusive, especially towards biracial people. When they have black, you got some black in you. Black folks are really inclusive, especially when you're really great at something, when you're successful, you're great. Black folks gonna love and embrace you. The reason why, because Drake was loved and embraced by the black community as a whole for many, 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 many years. People didn't start questioning his blackness until he started doing stuff like taking I Like to Cha Cha from Drum, Big Baby Drum, taking Drum song, doing stuff like that, and then making Hotline Bling. For those who don't know, Hotline Bling's original song name was Cha Cha Remix, right? Drake changes the Hotline Bling, but he really got that whole idea of that song from Big Baby Drum, who had that I Like to Cha Cha. That joint was hard. With a Dominican, they resemble Saina. So when black folks saw him do stuff like that, and they saw him not stand in solidarity with black folks or lend his voice to black issues, but then want to come to the hood for photo ops and for music videos and to collaborate with hood and street artists, black folks start scratching their head like, this is quite puzzling. This is quite puzzling. This is quite confusing. And that's where black people started to have a question. They started to question his blackness at that point, especially after remembering that he came into the game marketed as a young Jewish man, a young biracial Jewish kid. You know what I mean? So that's where people started to kind of have a frustration with Drake black folks. Like, yo, why you not standing in solidarity with us? And so people were like, oh, it's only due to him being biracial. Well, that's not true. J. Cole's mother is Lily White. She's a lily white woman, right? But nobody got no issue with Cole because Cole has always lent his voice to black issues, the plight of black folks. He always lent his voice to the plight of black American people. Now, I know it's a little different from Cole and Drake because Cole grew up in a black environment. Drake did not. He grew up in a white Jewish neighborhood, went to a white Jewish school, had a bar mitzvah. You know what I mean? So you can tell Drake really wasn't, you can tell Drake wasn't really enamored in the black community like that, even by the way he had his haircut. When I look at clips of Degrassi, Drake looked like he had a rug on his head, and that's how he was cutting his hair. You know what I mean? And if you grew up in blackness, you know you're not going to get your hair cut the certain ways that Drake had his hair cut on Degrassi. It's just not going to happen if you grew up around black folks like that. Drake didn't grow up around black folks like that. He would come to visit his father people and stuff, but again, that's only seasonally, and it's not enough sometimes for you to kind of get immersed in the culture in ways. So yeah, I think Drake found a lot of his blackness while making music. And there's nothing wrong with that. It happens, especially when you grew up in a predominantly white area, white Jewish area. Thing is, once you start to use black culture as a way to keep your career refreshed, once you start going to the hood and collaborating with all these artists and using the black hood artists, street artists for edginess in your music, for a certain appeal in your music, and collaborate with them, black people are going to start wanting you to show solidarity with us on not just music. That's how black people are. We expect people who have powerful voices in our community to show solidarity with us. And I think the issue is that Drake never showed solidarity with black folks. So when I talk about all those things, and I get back to Sauce Walker points, he like, yo, hat, come on, backpacks. Of course, man. Of course, a dad in a dad in its entirety. You know, that's my life, man. That is my life. But yeah, so when you see that, um, when I make them points, you know what I mean? Like I see what Sauce Walker is saying. Not saying he may not always have the best delivery about it, maybe. I haven't seen all the times he's talked about it, but it made sense to me. And he wasn't trashing Drake when he was saying it. He's just like, yo, you could put some of these Houston artists on the bill of your concerts and stuff. You could have done that during the time, especially when he was having a lot of those Houston influences in his music and stuff like that. So yeah, man. But I understand where he's coming from. I really, really do. I mean, this is not the point to pick at Drake. Like if Drake was out here using words like goofy all the time in the Chicago music, rapping over all these Chicago classic songs, if he was, you know, using Chicago lingo and using Chicago style and drill type format in his music all the time, if he was coming here and shooting videos at at Harold's Chicken and you know and again sampling Crucial Conflict and Do or Die and Psychodrama and Twister and all the time like that and Common, people would be like, yo, now if you're gonna do all of that, you gotta put some of these young Chicago artists, hey, collab with them. You know, hey, when you come do a show here, hey, put them on the bill. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be an expectation for that. Now I will say, when Drake first came out, he definitely was shouting out Lil Durk, Lil Reese, and all of them too, um, and Keith for sure. But again, that goes to people wondering, okay, Drake, are you only? And it's another thing too. And I know it sounds like it's nitpicking, but people kind of notice that he has an affinity and attraction to only street rappers. Street rappers a lot. He likes being around that aura. He likes being around street gang banging dudes, and I think it's because it checks a box that he can't check, and he likes being able to have their respect and their friendship and their loyalty in certain ways. You know, I mentioned when Drake first came in the rap game, he was kind of a backpacker a little bit, right? I remember him saying things like Fonte from Little Brother, shout out North Carolina, that Fonte from Little Brother was his favorite rapper, favorite lyricist. I'm like, yo, why in your time of you being Drizzy Drake, you being a six god, you being at the top of the rap game, why haven't you collabed with Fonte or Little Brother? Why haven't you collaborated with other backpack type artists, other type rappers? You know what I mean? Other rappers like that versus just only working with the street guys. And I said it's because, and I'm a fan of Drake music, Drake, he gains an edginess in his music. He gains a street appeal by working with these street artists. He gains a cool factor working with 21 Savage, Future, Lil Baby, Gunna, Young Thug, working with Lil Durk. He gains a street appeal. I'm not saying they don't benefit too, because they do, but Drake does gain a street audience and a street aura, edginess to him in his music when he works with those guys. So that's my talking points about it, man. Personally, that's my talking points. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. But yeah, man, that's how I feel. What do y'all feel? Do y'all feel like he's correct? Do y'all feel like Sauce Walker is correct in his conversations about Drake? In a minute, I'm finna start smacking. Man, I'm gonna have to get off here. Well, I'm starving. Well, you know, I'm gonna have to get off here in a minute. What's going on, y'all? Y'all might not be on here right now. We might have to come back on, y'all. Cause like I said, I'm starving, and I gotta do some eating. Did Sauce Walker? Nah. Well, I think so. I think so. Sauce Walker and Drake. Sauce always has had this opinion about Drake though for a long little minute, and I think that's probably why they don't talk and why they don't speak. You know what I mean? But he's always had this opinion about Drake for a while now, man. So it's not nothing new. What happened? They made up or something recently? The Sauce and Drake, they got cool again? Well, Charlamagne asked him about his past issues with Drake. Even if they got cool, Charlamagne kind of asked about it. And Sauce Walker spoke on it. You know what I mean? Sauce ain't just bringing it up out of nowhere. Charlamagne spoke on it. Asked him about it. And then Sauce gave his response and why he felt the way he felt. You know what I mean? Because Sauce had been feeling that way about Drake for some time. To be fair, to be honest, to be fair. Mm. Well, look, y'all, it ain't a lot of y'all on here, man. I'm going to come back on here, man. I'm finna eat something real quick, man. I'm going to call at y'all in a minute.